nigga. I'm fist, nigga.
That nigga right there. Yeah, you do, nigga. Stop fake. Yeah, you that nigga right there.
Y'all can address that, then stop looking for black people to be out there for y'all. Y'all are not black. Latinos, specifically Mexicans, Cubans, y'all are not black. You don't have the right to say that word. You do not come from a lineage of bondage. You do not come from a place where you were sold. Okay, you are not black. No matter how much you try to be a thug, you are not black. No matter how many times you hang around black people, you are not black. And if you are not an African American, a descendant from slavery, that word should never come out of your mouth. This is why most black people are not out there, on top of them being tired because we said we told you so. This is one of the reasons why we don't feel aligned with y'all, because of things like this. And it's not just them, because they learned it from somewhere. And I don't want to hear the excuse is a product of their environment, because baby, I grew up around Latinos, okay? I grew up around them, and none of them would ever use the N-word in front of me. And yes, I grew up in Houston. So don't bring the Texas shit in there either, because that's BS. They would get checked. And I do mean by the chin. Until y'all can address that shit, don't say nothing to black people. Fix your house first before you go outside.
If you're Latino, Kendrick told me to tell you something.
Look at the comment section under his video. And shouts out to him for helping make the point for black Americans and black people in general. But look at that comment section. If you want your answer as to why so many black people are sitting this one out, your answer is in that comment section. That's not one, that's not 5 people, that's not just 20 people. It's hundreds under one post. Imagine 1 million posts. Imagine 10 million posts. You get it now? The problem ain't black folks. The problem is not us. Please and thank you.
Yeah, they're from all over. Where are you guys at? Why are your people not standing with us?
Yeah, baby girl, we gonna sit this one out. This has nothing to do with us. You know what gets me is that when y'all are in a time of distress, y'all always looking for black folk to come to the rescue. It's like y'all want us to come in like Captain America, Superman to come save the day. Nah, baby, we ain't coming to save nobody but ourselves. You hear me? What we are going to be doing is drinking water, herbal teas, staying moisturized, and minding our black business. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to have our boots to the ground, baby. And we're going to be line dancing. We're going to be flapping the fan around. We're going to be having a good time. That's what we're going to be doing. And you know what gets me and how ironic is that when we're the ones that's under attack, you all remain silent. Y'all get quiet. But now that y'all under attack, y'all expect the whole gathering, the kumbaya meeting and everything. Nah, baby girl, we gonna be chilling. We gonna sit this one out. But good luck with that. Good luck with that.
I'm doing a Dear Black People series from a Latino because there's a lot of quiet stuff that needs to be said out loud about Latinos concerning blackness. So I'm gonna break this up into different little parts, but just to keep it short. But the most important thing that I need black people to understand is that the level of retardation that Latinos have going on in their own community definitely outmatches yours in the way that, yes, Latino culture is racist by nature. And so it's not just a racism thing against you. It's a racism against ourselves. And we do ourselves worse than we do y'all. It's like this. I want you to imagine that in your community, light skins actually made an actual effort to keep dark skins down on purpose.
African American community is the only community that has the power in this country to change anything. They are the only one with the experience of civil matter. They are the only one que tenían el esclavo ahí mismitico. They are the only one that are not going to get deported anywhere, and you cannot put them all in jail. So African American community, which is the community that is stepped on by Cubans, the most are the only ones that are going to save the Latinos. And I clap for the African American community that has not come out because it is not. I do. We didn't do shit for them.
I get it, but I don't.
Me and you support, but in masses, we didn't support anything that was going with them. Latinos look at Cubans specifically. And I'm not gonna talk about any other community because I'm not part of that community, even though I'm a Latina with them. Cubans talk shit about African Americans.
It's true.
Cubans did not support African Americans. Cubans think that they all victimize themselves, that all of this, all of that. African Americans are the only ones that are going to save your ass as Latinos. So you better start kissing. If you're going to kiss some ass in this country, you better kiss some black ass.
Am I the only one seeing like the host is so uncomfortable? It's like she wants to censor the other woman so much. She looks so uncomfortable, distressed, and it seems like she has a certain agenda. Like she doesn't want the woman to express herself. Anyways, chat, from this issue, some of these people are saying that this Latino hate from blacks, it comes from the environment. I mean, yeah, it somehow can be true. For instance, there's an example of, Latinos hating on fellow Latinos, or, Hispanics hating on fellow Hispanics, depending on where you come from. That also applies, of course, to the black people. Of course, we've seen online wars between, black Americans and black Africans, and it's just like the way they are trying to say, but let's leave alone that. That's a minor issue here. We're talking about two races where one feels like they are superior to the other. When the other races like feel supreme, and then you others follow, and then those ones that follow, these that are marginalized, one of them wants to feel superior than the other. I mean, all communities just wants to bring the black community down, and I don't know why it is always like this. It's such a bad habit, and the same communities that do so also want blacks to support them when they get into trouble. Like for instance, right now, most Latino communities, especially the Cubans, are getting deported in large numbers, and this LA protest has mainly been because of them, going out there and just trying to protest against the ICE raids, and they want support from other communities, specifically the black community, for which to me, I really do feel like they want us to join so that they may scapegoat. That is exactly what they want to do. Even in the start of the clip, you see the way that lady called the other guy the N-word. Like, why is the respect there? First of all, you are not supposed to say that word. Like, that it's something implied, and then you use it. Doesn't really make sense. Anyways, chat, welcome to the channel. My name is Danny, and I'm the host for today's show. If you are new, make sure you subscribe. For returning subscribers, thank you so much for your likes, your comments. It has really helped me see through your opinions and shape this channel going forwards. So in today's video, we're actually talking about how Latinos have disrespected black Americans and yet again want support from them. But before I come out with my commentary, I really want to invite you to listen to netizens' opinions, and then thereafter I come back with my commentary. So stick around.
Latinos of all backgrounds, do y'all not realize black people are not the only people in this country? You got your Chinese Americans, your Japanese Americans, your Korean Americans, your Indian Americans, your Muslim Americans, your white Americans, and your own people. So why in Davy Jones' locker are y'all so pressed and mad at us because we not out protesting? Folks, we did the most effective protesting last November, and the data proves it. We protested when it mattered the most. We were not out here with whole productions talking about some "we will vote for Donald Trump." Y'all was out here with that foolishness, knowing full well that y'all had a few abuelas, a few tios, tias, mijo, and mijas in your house undocumented. But y'all got y'all behinds on stage talking about some "we will vote for Donald Trump." And you think we supposed to be out here protesting, picket fence in hand, clowning? Like some monkeys in a zoo? No. No, sir, bop. We did what we were supposed to do. And y'all put y'all's own community in the position that it's in now. And y'all need to live with it.
Because white Americans have been living with African Americans even from the day when our ancestors came from Africa as enslaved people. White Americans will work with African Americans who want to work. Latinos will not work with African Americans who want to work. There's a difference. There's a difference. White Americans will work with African Americans who want to work. But Latinos will not work with African Americans who want to work. Latinos only work with Latino. So if you ask me, I can tell you that from my own personal self, that Latinos are more discriminatory and racist towards African Americans than even you.
This is a really common sentiment that I'm seeing online, and while I do think that you're 100% valid in the way that you feel and your experience with racism from the Latino community, because let's be real here, Latinos, like a lot of Latinos are fucking racist. A lot of them are colorist as well. However, a lot of Latinos are also not anti-Black. A lot of Latinos are also willing to call out the colorism and racism towards melanated communities even within our own community. Generalizing a whole population based on your personal experiences is not it, but you are 100% valid in the way that you feel. However, the rest of your talking points in that comment thread, Another common sentiment that I'm seeing online is that a lot of Latinos voted for this. And as someone with family members who also voted for that, I don't claim them. California is a blue state, so the majority of the people here voted blue regardless, it doesn't matter and it shouldn't matter in terms of humanity and empathy, but I do feel that talking point should be made when discussing what's going on here in LA. On top of that, a lot of the Latinos being detained right now could not vote. And you know what's worse? They're outside of elementary schools. They are intimidating families. They are taking and detaining children and putting them in zip ties. Also, one of the most important things to keep in mind is that this affects minority communities in more ways than just immigration, because Adriana Smith is still being kept on fucking life support. There's also a Haitian woman that people seem to have forgotten about who died in ICE custody. Her name is Marie Angie Blaze. 12 Asian employees at a nail salon were also detained recently. I'm not sure who else they've gotten since then, because with everything that's going on and how censored the news is, we don't get to see how much they're truly fucking attacking minority communities. And they are coming for all of us. It doesn't matter if you're Latino. At the end of the day, it's minorities versus the corrupt administration that seeks to divide us. We need to fight for ourselves, and we need to fight for each other and stick with each other. We also need to call each other out when there's racism amongst our own communities. If you can't protest, there's other ways to help.
So Afro-Latino gets on here and states that he don't know why the other Hispanics, the Latinos are discriminating against him. Like, hey, we're both Latinos, but they're giving the ideal looking Latino more hours. They're cutting his hours. Let me play it right quick.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, the most prejudice have been the Hispanics, like Afro Latinos just X'd out as well. Like, that shit is fucking with me really fucking bad. I'm at this site and it's like I have to beg for hours because I don't look like the picture perfect fucking Hispanic.
And I don't think they get it. Because just imagine if white Americans and black Americans, if they put us all in the same community, the only thing we have in common is that we're Americans. One group is marginalized. One group have a history of being discriminated and racially profiled and just locked out of markets just because of a different race, being of a different race. See, the Spaniards messed them up. They're like, hey, we're all one. And the whole thing about being all one, they wanted to breed out the indigenous and black people out of the gene pool. Hey, we can't discriminate against you if you no longer exist. You get it? But if you look at it, they're just excluded. Like, Latinos is one group And they're a completely different group, the Afro-Latinos and indigenous people. They're excluded from that community. I don't think they're processing it. Everything is based on race. You're sharing a community with your oppressors. And if you look at the Latin American countries, the people that's marginalized in all those countries are black and indigenous people. The proof is in the pudding.
So this African man is going viral right now, right? Because he owns a contracting company in Virginia, right? So he hires a lot of, Latinos, right? So he said that the Latinos keep snitching on him on the black Americans, right? Trying to get them fired. Yeah, trying to get them fired, right? So they can bring in more Latinos into the company, right? Y'all want to know the game these Latinos run on this African dude, right? He said, come on, man, you're an immigrant. We immigrants, we gotta look out. They said, immigrant unity, brother. These black men, they lazy, bro. They clacking, they coming late, they leave early, bro. I could bring you Juan and Jose over here, bro. They're gonna work twice as hard for half the price, bro. What are we doing here, man? And oh my God, are black people furious in that comment section, right? But it was an interesting that he said, right? He said they kept snitching on black Americans. They were snitching. If you're snitching, it means that the individual is probably doing something they're not supposed to be doing. You understand what I'm saying? Like, he kept saying that they're snitching on them. You don't snitch on somebody who gets there on time, right? Stays late if they have to, works hard and bust. You don't snitch on a hardworking person, you know what I'm saying? So I couldn't really quite understand the vid. I don't know if this dude was like trying to pander to the black American community, but why would you say that they're snitching on black Americans? What is it a snitch on, bro, if they work hard? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, everybody in the comments is losing it, talking about this is what they do, man. They're looking out for their own people, this and that. And it's like, bro, that's what everybody does. Everybody looks for their own people, man. If you ever look at whoever's in charge of an organization and you look at the people around them, that's going to be a reflection of those. But them saying, yo, you're an immigrant, I'm an immigrant, I got my cousin, they just came across the border, bro. Twice the work, half the price. Hey, if you want it, you take it. If not, you keep dealing with your mom.
Black people are tired of being a bank where everyone keeps making withdrawals and no one ever makes a deposit. And I want you to think about that. If that was your setup, would you still want to give? Especially for those of us in the Hispanic community, because it's about patterns that we've inherited and the harm that we've ignored. Me, myself, I'm Puerto Rican. I've seen how anti-Blackness and colorism still show up in our homes, in our language, in our media, in our families. In many families, darker skin is treated like a disadvantage. When solidarity is needed, hesitation shows what's been internalized, and too many of us were raised to believe that aligning with Blackness meant losing something: safety, opportunity, acceptance. And we were taught the proximity to whiteness would protect us, that staying quiet was safer. So if we don't unlearn that, we end up repeating the same harm we say we stand against. So disengagement is not okay. What's happening to immigrant communities right now is devastating. I'm not taking away from that, and it does deserve compassion and support. But a good portion of that fear didn't come from distant forces, and it came from within our own communities. I've spoken out because I've watched people I know support systems that were never created for us to begin with. Systems that weren't designed to protect us, only to use us when it's convenient. So while I've raised my voice, I also know too many that have stayed silent, or worse, they chose power. We don't get to ask for empathy if we're unwilling to confront the harm our silence helped protect. And contrary to popular opinion, holding each other accountable isn't betrayal. It's how we begin to heal. So to the Black women and men that are saying we've poured into everybody and got nothing back, you're not wrong. You've carried movements, you've carried communities, you've carried generations without rest, without complaint, without question. And we cannot undo the silence that already has happened, but we can take responsibility for what happens next. I think people are not realizing we have way more similarities than differences, and we have more power together than we do apart. So look to your Black brother or sister, look at them and say thank you, and I see you. Simple as that. Strike up a conversation, get to understand, because that's all they're asking for, to be seen and to be appreciated for all they do.
Now, if there is one community that really needs a reality check, that is the Latino community. They themselves don't even understand what Latino is made of. For instance, they just think it's the whole Hispanic lineage. But if you see it through, even Latinos themselves, they know this. There is Hispanics. And then there is those Latino communities or Hispanic communities that were colonized by the Spaniards. Like if you see Puerto Ricans, Guatemalans, those from El Salvador, Cubans, Colombia, Venezuela. You know, these are the countries that were colonized by Spain. And then there is the indigenous communities. But again, these communities are supposed to come together to be what is referred now to as the Latino community. But for them, now that the Spaniards do not want to associate themselves with them, they're left there in the middle, like they want to convince the indigenous community, but then again, it's like they do not want. If they themselves do not even want to associate themselves with Afro-Latinos, then that is a problem, because they feel like the Afro-Latinos are the black people again. Like, they discriminate even within their own. It's really funny how the Latino community easily fumbles to, the divide and rule tactics. They really succumb to that propaganda that the media or the political class is really shitting on people, and it's really sad to see like them thinking that way. The last lady has said, like, if everyone understood where everyone was coming from and where they want to go, that would be really easy. Understanding people's origins, understanding how people live with each other, then the black community and the Latino community and the white community would really come together and just coexist together, even with other races. That would really be possible. But then again, the Latinos, just because they feel like they are vulnerable or the minority, when it comes to them versus black people, especially in the corporate, man, you guys don't know. Even if you mind your own business, oh my god, still they will be on your business. Like, for instance, that issue of trying to replace a worker of another race with their race just because they can come and work more for less pay. That shit, it's really awful. No one can convince me that those guys are not. It seems like in the world of undocumented migrants or those migrants seeking for citizenship, it's like it's a battle of, not even a battle of, it's more like survival for the fittest. You just want something because it suits your narrative or it suits your interest, and you don't even care the other person who is in the same situation as you wants to win like you want to, but you do not want them to do that because you feel like they are a threat to your existence. And that is what the Latino community is actually doing to other communities, making them feel like they're less important than them. Especially now, at the point where now they start calling people the N-word. It's too low of them, like, to stoop that low. I don't know what's gonna happen, especially after this protest, this LA protest and the ICE raids. That is what is gonna determine all this. But hey guys, let me know what you do think in the comment section down there below. Share your opinions, and don't forget to also check the original creators. Their usernames have been embedded in the Stitch videos as always. Go follow, like on their TikToks for this channel. Make sure you smash a thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so that you may not miss my next upload. And with that guys, let me meet you in the next video. Peace out.